Hey, here's another late night video. I want to tell you about something that is happening because I think it has to do with codependency and the way that that story is continuing to evolve. And something that has happened now is that someone I used to be in a relationship with, I have found out that they had completely held me in their story, their version of events. And yeah, I'm really shocked that it's super subtle, but the story turns out to be different, and just just all along, like the storylines that would have put this person in a less heroic light turn out to be, yeah, that this person that I still appreciate very dearly, by the way, turns out to have that was my feet. Turns out to have told me versions of stories of his reality that were not quite that way, and made me believe, like, wow, this is such an amazing person. And the thing is, like, I realized it from a very long conversation, and the thing that is so beautiful, I think, about reality is that, and I have witnessed this a few times because I've had very, very big stories come and change, like what. Okay, so my childhood was parts of my childhood were kept like kind of a secret from me until about 9 or 10 years ago, and well, less than that, but but anyway, so I have experienced a few times like that the story was actually different from what I had been told and what I had been believing. That's a very strange thing to go through. And I wonder if there's more people who have gone through that. I'm pretty sure, but it's a very, very specific experience. And so this time it happened again, but it was like the more luxurious and comfortable version of what I have experienced before. So I'm always thanking the universe for, like, okay, thank you for, that it's comfortable this time. But I was in shock. I had to allow myself to go through the emotions. I had to have my friends, like, just to talk about it. And I really needed to have people tell me, like, that is shocking. That does change a lot. And then yeah, like, there will be surface emotions and things that I think of that come up. But then as I feel deeper into the story and realizing, like, whoa, if this had come up while we were together in the years of relationship that we were together, I mean, yeah, with the wisdom that I have now, I would have left. I would have left that relationship. But I wasn't who I am today. So there's no use in me, you know, filling in a story like that. But that really hit home, that it would have meant that I wouldn't have trusted this person. But the thing about codependency is that, this is my experience, okay, is that there's a sense of buying into the story, even though the body and the emotions, in a suppressed way, are already saying, I don't trust this, this situation doesn't feel good. And it's like, I think for a lot of people, it'll be their brain and the stories in their head that they're going by. So something might happen while you're in the relationship, and you feel like this isn't right, but it'll kind of stay stuck in the mind and in thoughts, like, why that isn't okay, and you're kind of like using your discernment and judgment, but like only the mental faculties and some of the emotional faculties, but mostly like staying up here, like to reason whether something is actually okay, and maybe using other people's values and asking people like, what do you think? And so even in I remember that in a lot of situations, I would have arguments in my relationship saying, yeah, but this isn't normal because, and I would think of someone who would say, or think of how, like, in culture, this wouldn't be seen as normal. And that would be my reasoning, you know? Now that is really changing. And I, I would say to anyone who is trying to get out of codependency, like, please do, because you will start to bring back online your innate like your intuitions, all your, like, your body is telling you all the time, giving you signs like, I don't trust this. That thing that someone said, the tone in which they said it, there's something off about that. And yay for you if you're like hearing that information and then respecting yourself to like say, okay, that's, I heard that. And yeah, my therapist always gives this analogy like, if you have your, like the sphere that is your private space, if that's like the metaphor of a house. And when you meet new people, they don't get to come into your house, or they come into your house and they visit and then they should leave until they have proven to you that they're trustworthy and that they don't make a mess in your house. But the thing with codependency is that what will happen is, because there isn't a very good way of keeping boundaries, that people are just coming in and making a mess, not only because you attract bad people or something. That could be the case, but it could just be the fact that everyone's allowed to just walk in and do whatever, because there isn't this learned way of dealing with when things don't go the way that they should, and of how to get people out of the house or how to not let them in the first place. So I think a lot of us who are suffering from like codependent patterning is like, for me, I grew up in a family where no one really has healthy boundaries. And if someone isn't at the door saying, I am going to make a mess in your house and I want to come in, then it's like they might be at the door saying, yeah, I'm coming to do this and that. And you're kind of feeling like, yeah, I don't trust them very much, but I'm not sure about myself, and I should be kind. Here you get also like cultural values, you know, like you should let everyone in and you should help everyone and you should be kind, and and this is what kindness looks like. And so we're, a lot of time it's more of a performance. But then if you've had this past where, yeah, even the way that I'm talking right now has something to do with it. Like, it's like in a lot of cultures, we don't really learn, unless our parents are very clear for us and do that themselves, that we don't really learn the right way of tapping into ourself and feeling, do I actually want to let this person in? Do they feel safe to me? And then if it's like a no, then they stay out. And if you say to them, no, you're not coming in, that they actually respect that. In my family, that would not have been the case. No one asked me, you know. And the way that my family, I'm not blaming them, okay? Because everyone just does their best, you know. We have opportunities that maybe our ancestors didn't. I just want to throw that in there, to let go of any need to blame others. that that a lot of these behaviors were really expected, and then especially if like love is being withheld from you if you don't do this thing that is so that you're supposed to do in this way, or like violence get done to you, you know, emotional violence, physical violence, other kinds, then it would be understandable that your system now just lets people in. And the thing that happened, uh, so you can understand there's a lot going on there, yeah? In also like how the system is built up. So I want to tell you that I found out that there had been a way of lies. That's a harsh way of saying it. And then I had all my emotions and realizing, wow, that maybe that relationship in the way that I am now, I would not allow that again. But I felt so happy. I felt like I can actually have still a conversation with this person who I do love dearly for everything that it has been. But I will have to say that here's an opportunity that I do not accept that kind of distorting of the truth to make yourself look better, because it isn't safe. It doesn't feel safe for me. This person would also project that everybody needs to like him, needs to for him to be the good guy, and anytime that there would be a conflict, there's a sense of how he would act, not taking responsibility for his own actions or the way that he was dealing with situations, and not being very social, not being very sensitive to other people, even though they're trying to express, like basically me, I was trying to express like, hey, this doesn't feel good to me. But yeah, I wasn't the person who was also managing that very well. And the thing that eventually now, by actually, I have gone deep into my I have become more and more able to sit down and have ways to release my emotional tension. And uh-oh, here comes human design. There's something about that, but maybe I won't say it now. I I release emotions. I just release them because there's a lot of things from the past also that seem to be attached to some of the situations that I go through today. Sometimes, I'm telling you, I feel like life just offers me situations like in order for me to solve many of the traumas. Yeah. So also with this happening, I was able to have my method. I had a lot of emotions, and I even got to deeper layers that, because of understanding the truth now, just things make a lot of more sense. That's what I wanted to tell you. Like, if you start trying to solve codependency and really have patience with yourself, then actually, honestly, while I'm saying these things, I kind of also dissociate sometimes. It is, this material is very vulnerable, and I think I haven't always been vulnerable enough to myself to appreciate how vulnerable this information actually is. So please bear with me while I find my bearings in what I'm trying to say. I have noticed from finding out the truth that it's it turns out things are much more logical. And you know how it doesn't really feel good when people tell you to just believe something? It actually feels really wrong. And there's so much of it, that I feel like we partly live in that realm, like just believe stuff because someone told you, someone you hold in authority. And yeah, when I find out the reality, like also this, it gave me the opportunity to understand a few of the things in the relationship that I didn't understand before. And if people have not, in your youth, in growing up and in maybe traumatic situations, if people actually haven't told you the truth, then this is my experience with having to navigate very foggy situations. And I feel like the psyche kind of will hold on to things, like just because other things are not defined enough, there isn't enough truth to understand what's going on. And so you find alternative things to hold on to. And I really, really, really think that this is very natural. And it's also what makes it so, so hard to have mental health. If you've not been given the opportunity to know the reality of the situation. For people, and this is a reason why I say, tell all your secrets. This is why I'm saying these things online. It's sometimes I feel a lot of tension about it, but yesterday when I was releasing a lot, I honestly I felt like I touched my like I came back to a core person who I am. Someone that's it's like veiled a lot of the times, and that's my behavior, my patterns of the way that I'm doing things, that'll obscure what's deeper because it's not safe enough yet. It feels kind of like that. And yesterday, as I let the emotions like wash out in waves, like they came up in waves, like old things, and they wave and they came out, like as though they had been soiling or rotting in the spring, like the wellspring of who I actually am and who I'm here to be. Not like in a sense like, oh, something went wrong, but like this is the beautiful thing of like aligning to life, is that being healed and finding that peace that is like, yes, I know this is me. And this part of myself that was like, here I am, this is how I really feel, this is who I really am. And it's not a one-dimensional thing, but it does feel whole. And it that part of me felt like it was just reacting to life, and also could, that it's just that I'm just a being. Me personally, I know who I am when it's like totally primordial. It's like totally from my root to the tip of my head. I'm just one thing. I know I said just like now, like one dimensional, but what I mean is like it's a whole kind of thing. It feels whole. And I actually couldn't, I actually even cried for all the, every time that I'd say, oh, shall I film this? And I tried to film it because I thought, then I can remember. But this part of myself was, I just started crying again. Like, I am done. I don't need things to remember who I am. That's not it. I know who I am. It'll come again and again and again until it's there completely. I feel a little bit of tears. I'm so happy that that is happening. I'm not sure if this is like helpful for anyone. My human design says I should talk mainly about ideas. So please let me know, like, when I get like more of the emotional things, if that is at all helpful. I don't know. So yeah, I'm just trying to say the truth of how it's happening. And it does feel like a kind of awakening. It does feel kind of, it's just the things that are not me that are starting to leave my my being, my reality of being here on earth. And also, like, I feel at ease that I don't have to be anything else. Time doesn't really exist. I know it does, like, obviously you might think, like, are you crazy now? I don't feel crazy. I feel more sane than ever without having to know exactly what is what. But yeah, I do feel like even time has kind of stopped, in the sense that I don't feel like I need to get anywhere in a certain time. I'm not anxious anymore about that. I feel like I, I feel like I already did so much, and it's just naturally unfolding, and that I am at the place that my ancestors dreamt of, and they're like, please just, you can now drop, the sense of like there's still problems to solve. No, you know, that is what I was talking about before. The quality of trust is it. Okay, I have to tell you something. And I will finish up this story. Yeah. A moment 24 hours before that, I think it's so beautiful. 24 hours before that, I had noticed for the 1000th time that it's like I have this base frequency that has a lot of despair. The frequency of despair. Ooh, I can feel my ovaries just like being like cringe, like crunchy, like, oh God, that feels so bad. Yeah. And it brings a lot of stress, and I was worrying about something, and I was realizing like I actually don't know how to stop despairing and how to stop like just focusing on things that bring me more despair. I can see it, but I don't quite know how to stop it. You know what I mean? Like, I can see the wheel keep churning. And I tried to think of what is the opposite. So it's understood that the negative thing, the negative aspect, if you were able to drop into what that is and feel like exactly what it is, discern what it is, maybe give it some words, and then when you fully understand what it is, like for me it was despair, and there's powerlessness to that as well. Like in despair and the kind of waking up, like, I have not seen this ever change. That kind of thing, like this stress and this chaos is going on forever. That really has put the fear into my body. So it's very much a body thing. So the body changes super slow, right? Although in this time we are quantum, right? Okay, so just so you know that. So now here comes the solution, the solulu for the I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make it a little lighter. The solulu is what's the opposite of despair? And it's not like something you can look up. You have to like feel in yourself what would actually feel like the complete opposite, because you know what the pain is, so you know what would make the clouds split open and the sun shine suddenly upon you. And for me, it was the sense of waking up in the morning and saying, God dang it, I am free. Yeah, I felt really imprisoned as a child. Like, am I ever gonna get out of this? Am I ever not gonna be in prison? Am I ever gonna feel hope in the world? And I have manifested all of those things, but somehow I still feel I'm still in that cage, and I know that the door's open. And now I gotta learn to not. Now I gotta learn a new sensation. So I'm pulling in the quality. If you've seen my other videos, I was saying it's a quality like you remember it, like you remember it in the core of your vibration of who you are. And oh my God, God put me on this earth to show me that I really do have the freedom to evolve. In a moment, to choose what I prefer. And that sensation of that I can wake up in the morning and say to myself, I have, sorry, the kind of freedom, excuse me, this is like, stuck stress coming out. I have the kind of freedom that my ancestors could only dream of. And they are actually not being critical of me. They are standing behind me saying, oh my God, girl, start enjoying. What will you do with your life if you're gonna enjoy it? What will you do with your life? And I'm like, all right. Sometimes I'm gonna be like super happy, and now I'm in my moon time, goddammit. I'm bleeding. I'm like a dark witch. Don't talk to me about butterflies and optimism. So I'm like, how's the dark bitch gonna solulu this? It's like, solulu is solution, okay? And quantum jumping is like, some people might, in a like derogative way, call that delulu. But you need a little delulu to have quantum solulus. So just playing with those words. But so yeah, it's like, okay, I can ease into this. I don't need to go jumping through hoops every day. It's also like, yeah, damn, I'm free. I'm free. Let's calm down now. Let's integrate this shit. Yeah. Yeah. So, all the ways to be optimistic. And yeah, let me come back to this other story. So, I didn't want to be angry. I want to, at my previous relation, but I do want to honor who I'm becoming. And it's so much easier to not hold a grudge against people if you know how to set boundaries. Because people will flow out of your life. You don't need them there, they'll disappear. Love is not sticky, it's not holding on to people, it's not like, I have so much trust in this life, in God, in the Solulu. I have so much trust that that things are okay, that I don't need to save everyone, that I don't need to be in people's lives to show them that I love them for them to, be okay. Or I know now that I need to live my life in integrity, and that we are never separated from others. This is a person that I have loved so much, that has given me codes to heal some of the things that I went through in childhood, and even masculine codes. Even in his lies, there were codes that I really needed to hear and I wanted to hear. And it's kind of sad that some of those things aren't true. And it also has something sweet that this guy really wanted to be that kind of a hero for me. And I think that's one of the reasons that, I don't know, that I was, yeah, I mean, but reality, reality. Reality is such a bitch, but like, embrace that bitch. Embrace that bitch, because she's gonna tell you. And if he had told me the truth, and I had told him, like, yeah, that's really human, those things that are actually the truth. And I would have wished for him that he would have been able to forgive himself if he had faced the truth. And so after my anger, I realized, like, sometimes people aren't even able to face the truth. And I find that scary to be around, because it makes a person abusive to themselves, to others, because they don't see when they're abusing. There's emotional tension that comes from trying to hide things from yourself by saying, like, I cannot be this bad person. It's absolutely impossible for me. I should not be this bad person, and no one's allowed to call me a bad person. I might in another situation also come across this, and this is the pain of the ego dying. Like, what will remain of me when I face this? Is anyone still gonna love me? And yeah, and these are the things that we practice, right, with our friends, like, and that I even practice here and saying this online. I The thing that I was able to do in this situation is that I realized that I wasn't angry. I don't hold a grudge. I do hold a boundary. But I don't hold a grudge. I would love it if I could speak to my friend and say this to him, like, will you please start telling the truth? Because otherwise I can't have you close to me. And it's okay. I benefited a lot from the situations, and I was there, and my spirit gave permission for all of those things to happen, and there's nothing about the past that I can change, and so why would I want to? What is that even? You can't change the past. But I can, it shows me where I've gotten to, and it's such a relief to not hold a grudge and to just to be able to love, but also to be like, no, I don't want that anymore. I want to have safe people around me, and when my body tells me now, like, ooh, this gave me just more information about how yeah, how lucky I am and how good I am that I've come this far, and how nice it is in life to not have the confusion of, is this actually safe? So, I would like to wrap this up. If you understand that you are in codependency, this is what I would like to say to you. For me, codependency has been a situation that has come about as a result of confusion about what safety actually is, and that people can be warm, people can be misleading. You have to find out what safety actually is. Start trying to be safe for yourself, looking after yourself. Start to have this criterion that other people in your life need to be safe. And the only reason, the only way that you can separate yourself from others that are not safe for you is when you when like the wound inside doesn't say, but I need these people in my life. It's loneliness is such, it carves away really at the foundation of who you are. I know this, and you need social connections. But try to work at it. Try to be okay with loneliness and know that you will survive, and try to look at yourself with so much compassion of what you have survived. Truly, truly, truly what you have survived. And know that you deserve people that truly see you. And that can be so harsh, and it might make you very angry and very sad and bitter. And so I don't blame you at all if you cannot do that, right away. The way that I learned it is because I loved the person so much, but then I realized that they were really manipulating me, and this is not the person that I'm now, that this story was about. That was a person whom I could see would be potentially violent, would potentially become violent, physically violent towards me. And he was already emotionally violent, and, so I just want to say that I only realized when I had enough friends. So also find support, find therapists, find people who you can reflect with, tell them everything that's going on so that you don't have a hidden agenda. Be really honest. Yeah, there's a lot about honesty and transparency that helps us so much, but it's very difficult for the ego to be that way. So just go slowly towards that, and you're always welcome to, I don't know, comment from a incognito account on this video, and just start speaking out in some way that you can. Dump your story somewhere, just start, but eventually start connecting to people so that people can actually help you connect to people who will be kind enough to listen to where you're truly at, and that don't advise you to do things that you're not ready for yet, but can accept you while you're growing. But yeah, it's tiring for anyone if you're not actually growing. I'll tell you. So don't stay stuck. Just keep taking steps. And it's so, so beautiful to find out that you start to learn actually that things aren't ambiguous. They stop being ambiguous when you start facing conflicts and start holding boundaries. So look at my other videos that I've already posted, more about that. And yeah, I really wish this for you, because life will become much more clear. You will feel like there's more possible for your life. It'll become less about stuckness. You will feel mentally more healthy. You'll feel like your system and who you are and your body, mind, emotional complex, all of these things, your spirituality, you'll find out that it actually makes sense. That there's a lot of, it's very logical, and it starts to it's like everything starts to relax. And you deserve that. You deserve to come out of that. You deserve to experience that, and I hope that for you. And yeah, I bless you on your path. I just really like doing this. It's not a God thing or a religious thing, but I think it's really nice when we bless each other. So I bless you on your path forever and ever. We need you. We need everyone to feel healed and to be able to bring in that very special medicine that you are, and that you're able to extract from this human experience. We are so vulnerable, but in this vulnerability we find just such extraordinary power. And I feel like vulnerability is also it's the path of the heroine, not the hero. The path of the heroine. And we collect all of the disenfranchised, and we reset harmony. We reset what unity actually is. That we're able to work together. We're able to appreciate each other and appreciate our diversity. And we all have these roles, and we all have stuff we're just so uniquely good at, and that we can appreciate each other. So yeah, the path of the heroine, I welcome you on this. And it's not only each other that we're gathering the disenfranchised. It's also those parts of ourselves that have been left behind, and that are necessary for our wholeness to be remembered, so that we can truly feel like we're not walking around as patchwork, Frankensteins just trying to get by. No, there is something so truly powerful about being whole, and the world will know it. The world will know it. And it's what we're all, I think it's part of what we're all really, really needing and hoping for and wanting. And I think it's part of it. It's part of the healing that the earth wants for us, humanity, to be this species that is able to heal itself and then be and walk this earth plane in grace, you know, being healthy little parts of earth. Thank you for watching this, if you watched all this way, and thank you for being here on this journey. All right, bye and peace.